Good day everyone, and we're here to see how you can generate a publishable APK for your Android project. An APK or an Android package file is simply a zipped up file, all the needed items in your application to be able to run it on a device. So you can do that. You can generate an APK with the use of Android Studio and opening the project that you want to create an APK for. So ever since we've started, an APK was actually created every time you ran your application and you compiled it or built it. Except that APK has the debug tag on it. So if you try to install it on actual devices separate from Android Studio, you will get a warning. So what we want to do is create an APK that you can send to other people and they can install it on their device. So what you do is open the project that's working. So before you plan on creating an APK, your project must be fully tested and will run as you meant it to run. Once your project is open, click on Build. And then what you want to do, so you'll see there are a couple of options for APK under Build. There's the Build Bundle and Build APK. You have Generate your Signed Bundle or APK. So we don't want the first one. We're also not analyzing the APK and we're not deploying the Module 10 App Engine. So if this is the first time you're doing it, you'll go to Generate Signed Bundle APK and you'll get two choices. An Android app bundle, which you use when you're uploading your app to the Google Play Store. So we will not use this option. I can use the option because I'm a registered developer on Google, but you guys do not have the developer account paid up, so we'll use the APK, which is the tried and trusted way of distributing apps even if you weren't a registered developer. So pick the APK, click on Next, and you'll be asked for a couple of things. The first one is what module you want to turn into an APK. So by default, the choices here would be any Android project open under Android Studio. So I only have one open now, which is my Firebase demo.app project. So I don't have any choices because I don't have any other projects open. And then you're asked for a couple of items that will look alien to all of you because this is the first time you're doing it. When you produce a lot of APKs, all of them are signed by a Keystore. Okay, so the Keystore is in charge of storing information about you, the developer of the app, so that if you send it to the Play Store or you let other people use the APK, there is some form of identification that this app came from you. So since this is the first time everyone is doing it, we will create a new Keystore. So here, what I'd advise is that for the path, you put it somewhere that it will be safe. I normally put it along with my Android project. So I have a folder here for apps dev and then Android. No. I'll just put it in this folder and then I'll create a new one and I'll put Keystore. So again, it all depends on where you want to put it. So I have it in Keystore and it will be under the apps dev folder in my D drive. So open that. Then I have to give it a file name and I'll say main Keystore, or you can put your name. Just use any file name that's descriptive of what you want it to be. So I'll say main Keystore and click on OK. It will appear here. To make it safe so that no one can use it aside from you, put a password on it. Don't forget that password, otherwise you'll end up creating a new Keystore. Then you can give this key an alias. And then another password, because sometimes you might want to make separate key stores for different types of apps, like you'll make games and you want a separate key store for that, or you're developing apps for different organizations and you'll be creating separate keys for them. So I have my alias, I have my password. The validity, just use the default 25 years valid. So if a key store expires, the app will not run on the device. So we put it at 25 years. That actually renews when you update the app. And you need to fill up at least one box here. So this is your information, and this is what tells other people who made the app. So normally, I just put in country and my first and last name. So the other parts I fill in case I'm doing an app for another entity or organization. If I'm doing it for my own, I can just put stuff like this. Then I click on OK. Again, remember your passwords. And once you click OK, everything here gets filled up. If you're the only one using the computer and Android Studio, you can ask it to remember the password. Then we click on Next. Before I click on Next, take note. The Keystore path is now here. The Keystore password that I put in is also here. The key alias is here. If there are other aliases, I can pick. But I only have one right now because, again, I'm not doing an app for a different organization. I'll click on Next, and then I get to pick the build variant. So if you want to send this to your friends, and when they put the file on their phone, and you want the phone to recognize it as a valid installer, you have to make a release variant. Okay, so you make a release variant, and then you're asked for a signature version. So to simplify things, just pick B1, the jar signature, and then we click on Finish. Then we wait for a few moments. The app will recompile itself. You'll see that Gradle is running. And we'll just wait for a few moments for Gradle to run its course. Meanwhile, while you're waiting for it, you can do some other. So now that we see it's done, it says generate signed APK. So what happens now is if you want to find it easily, you mouse over this dialog box and click on it. And then you'll see locate or analyze the APK. We want to locate it. There you go. So now we'll see where it is. Your APK gets sent to the same folder as your project. And we find it under release. And you'll see it as this one. So it says app release. And then it's an APK file. When you're sending this to your friends, you can actually copy this and then rename it to whatever your app name is. In this case, Firebase Demo Hot App. And then this file now, you can just attach it to an email, even if it's just 3 MB in size, because APK files are one of those channels for sending malware to devices. So most, if not all, email services do not accept the attachment of APK files to your email. So what I do now, if I want to share my APK with friends and I can't do it via USB, is I put it on Google Drive or OneDrive if you're a Microsoft fan, and then share the link to people I want to test my app. That very quickly is how you create an APK or an Android package file. It's very useful when you want to send a copy of your app to people who you want to test your app. And thank you for spending time with me. Happy creation of your APK.